9/11. No one questions your courage or your leadership in the days after 9/11, but one question has come up that I'm very curious about. You put the Emergency Response Command Center in the World Trade Center in 1997, even though your director of emergency management recommended that you not put it there because it had been a target in 1993. Why'd you do that?
My director of emergency management recommended 7 World Trade Center. And that was it. And that was it.
I have got a copy right here of Jerry Hauer's directive to you, and there were meetings in which Jerry Hauer said that it's a bad idea, and the police chief, Howard Safer, said it was a bad idea.
Jerry Hauer recommended that as the prime site and the site that would make the most sense, and he recommended it because...
Then why did he say the building, he said it's not, the place in Brooklyn is not as visible a target as buildings in Lower Manhattan.
He recommended that site as the site that would be the best site. It was largely on his recommendation that that site was selected. And the reason that that site made sense was it was also the location of the Customs Service, the Secret Service, and a number of the federal agencies, some of which I'm not even sure I can mention at this date, that we had to be in contact with. And we also had backup centers at the police department in Brooklyn. We had another backup center, and we had a virtual command center. So when that command center was inoperable, within a half hour of September 11, we were able to move, or within a half hour on September 11, we were able to move immediately to another command center. So you can't, the way you're interpreting it, it was as if that was the one fixed command center. It was not. There were backup command centers, and it was a virtual command center, and it was selected because that's where all the federal agencies were that we would have to be in contact with, including some that would give you the intelligence that you needed during an attack.
I really don't want to say right now, Peter. I think it's going to be a horrible number. I saw people jumping out of the World Trade Center. I saw some of the firefighters who I know going into the building. And we were in a building in which we were trapped for about 10, 15 minutes.
Are you talking about did you go immediately to the Office of Emergency Management?
No, I went down to the scene, and we set up headquarters at 75 Barclay Street, which was right there with the police commissioner, the fire commissioner, the head of emergency management. And we were operating out of there when we were told that the World Trade Center was going to collapse. And it did collapse before we could actually get out of the building. So we were trapped in the building for 10, 15 minutes and finally found an exit and got out, walked north, and took a lot of people with us.
My question is, the Office of Emergency Management headquarters, into which you put enormous effort for coordination in a disaster like this, has it been damaged? Is it still operating? It's gone?
It's been damaged. I don't know how badly. And right now, that whole area of Manhattan, including the police department, which is another area we would operate from, City Hall, is another area we would operate from, have been closed off. So we've moved to a secure location in Midtown Manhattan where we're operating city government.
Is it fair to say, do you think, that all of your drills for dealing with terrorism and disaster are going according to plan, or has this been of such of magnitude that we've just all been caught totally off balance?
Oh, there's no question we were all caught totally off balance. No one could possibly expect large airplanes to crash into the World Trade Center the way this happened. I think, having said that, as I watched what the police officers and the firefighters were doing, I think they're going to save the maximum number of lives you could possibly save in a situation like this.
What do you want? How can we help you? And he said, just tell these people to get out of here. Tell them to go north. Tell the cops. I said, what do you need the police to do? He said, we need the police to secure the area and get the people out of here. Because I think what he was thinking was, this is going to be a day-long operation. And the more the people hung around, the harder it was going to be to get the ambulances in, to get the fire trucks in. The other thing he was thinking was the way the debris was falling, it was harming more of the people to the south and west. Maybe the wind, maybe the way it was the building, but the debris that was falling down didn't seem to be falling to the north. It seemed to be falling to the west and the south. And you could see people getting hit by it, probably getting killed by it. I don't know that we can accurately figure out how many people were killed before the building came down and how many were killed before by the things coming off the building.
Did it occur to you at all at that time that these buildings might actually collapse?
Yeah, but not the way they did. It occurred to all of us that they would ultimately collapse over the way buildings usually collapse, which is in stages. It looked like at some point the top of the building had come off, and then maybe the middle of the building, and then maybe there'd be a shell left, and the way number 7 came down, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, over a period of time. But the idea that it would the implosion that took place, I actually didn't realize that until much later, because when that happened, I was in the police department command post, so I didn't see it. I heard it. I saw the result of it. The building started shaking and the desk started shaking. But I don't think I really envisioned how it happened until I saw it on television, many hours later, and it was a shock to see it just implode that way.
Well, again, what you're seeing are high shots. Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself.
Describe that.
Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building.
It's amazing.
Amazing, incredible, pick your word. For the 3rd time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down. And
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
That building number 7 was going to collapse. That appears to be what has happened now. I don't know exactly how many stories the building is, Dan, but standing at the base of it, watching it burn about an hour ago, it looked to be something on the order of 50, 60 stories, as you said, a very, very large office building.
It's gone, man.
Workers were moving cautiously toward the building.
you hear that?
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down.
Closer to the building, it was almost like nighttime. What was left of the building was a fiery hulk. The firefighters thought it might collapse. Pieces of the building kept falling.
The building is about to blow up. Moving back.
Rescue workers pushed people away from the scene.
We are walking back.